Thank you all for coming this morning. If I can have a roll call.
Chair Rutledge,
Here.
Vice Chair Garcia,
Here.
Member Cahill,
Here.
Member Evans, Member LaPlante,
Here.
Member Covert.
Here. Thank you. For Chairwoman's remarks this morning, a couple things I'd like to talk about. The first is that you all know about the trash hauling efforts that we have made. All 6 of the townships without a single hauling contract have placed that on their ballot as a question to the voters. So we do have a website where people can click on for information about the survey information, et cetera. So Joy will share that link with all of you. Oh, the construction. Okay, so that you can share that with your townships, so they can see the results of their individual townships. And we'll see what the voters decide. Also, thank you to the Conservation Foundation for allowing me to give opening remarks for their, what do they call that? Their environmental summit. Thank you. I had to practice agroecology about 20 times before I felt comfortable that I wouldn't stumble over that, and I did not, so that was good. Some of the things that were included in that summit that I thought were really important and valuable information was at ampleharvest.org helps elected officials and people in the know to connect, or actually, I'm sorry, to share where home gardeners can connect with food pantries to share their excess produce. It was pretty amazing. And you can actually go on their site and print off. I don't think we have that problem so much around here, but I think some food pantries won't accept anything that's not already packaged. But they had a printout. If you're going to donate cauliflower, it would give you nutritional information about the cauliflower so that, you know, that they could cross that T about having nutritional information on their donation. So reducing methane, and pantry's carbon footprints. They had tons of information about that. There are 62 million private gardens in the country, and we should be doing a much better job of getting our access produce to the food pantry. So I love that. And Sustain DuPage, there was some great information about them as well, about food pantry needs assessments so that we get them the right things. Thanks to Kay and Scarce, we got a call last week that apparently a grocery store got what they thought was going to be a small shipment of strawberries and bananas, and they got a truckload, but they were almost ready to put it all into the landfills. And thanks to Kay and her team, she got the word out, and we heard this morning that none of that went to a landfill because they were fully prepared to do that. So thanks for everybody's efforts on those remarks. Next for public comment, I have David Barkas talking about Dark Skies International.
Good to see you all. I'm going to try to help you remember what we were talking about last year. The first one is Home Depot. I went to them, I think, in September, October, and talked about trying to get my Carroll Stream Home Depot to be a beta test site for dimming and warm LEDs that are compliant. And in December, around Christmas, they came back and said that corporate headquarters told them they were going to be compliant with dark sky, and it seems like it's going to be a national program. So then I immediately had my next set of questions, which you probably know. What's the timeline? What's the definition of the project? And would you ask your public relations department if they would please give me a press release that I can use? So it's a huge ask. It may take a little bit longer than the first step, which was pretty easy. But they already know, because I told them that I'm going to use it everywhere. And I'm going to try to convince other large corporations, just like themselves, to do it here and nationally. The next one is Brookfield Zoo. I started talking to them in the fall. And in our second meeting, gave them the light pollution map of Brookfield Zoo and the surrounding neighborhoods. They shared that with Riverside. I just called Jennifer Bayer, who's in charge of external affairs and ongoing education, about our Dark Sky Week, which is in April. And she said she would work with Riverside to see if she can't convince them to do a resolution. And she invited me to their Planet Day, which is in April. And then I got a couple days ago, got an invitation to a June event on talk about pollinators at Brookfield. So it's moving along. My hope is still that one day I'll be able to get 2 million visitors to be in their face about dark sky every time they come in the door, but that's a long way off. The third one, I started working on a couple of examples. One is UCal Davis, who put in an adaptive system, and that is a system that starts out dim, and when people are in proximity or cars, the lights go up. I use this because it saved 89% of their energy costs, and because it made the students feel safer. Because if somebody's there, the lights are on. If somebody's not there, the lights are off. And I spoke to those guys around the holidays, and their technology department and their public works group both committed to saying whenever we have somebody that's interested, they'd be happy to have a meeting. So I'm going to use that as I can and try to see if I can interest anybody on some use of adaptive systems, because it's the maximum savings you can achieve. So that's kind of where we are. A lot of programs for the spring because everybody's doing Earth Days, and we'll participate in as many as we can. Thanks.
Thank you. Big thanks for what you're doing, David. Next, Kay McKean from Scarce.
Morning, everybody. The strawberry banana thing was quite amazing, actually. Thank goodness for volunteers, and Sheila came and got a load, and Greg Schwartz came and got a load, and our volunteers were there and drove things to the Lyle Food Pantry and 2 to Elmhurst Food Pantries. It was amazing, but Beverly picked up the first van full, and we don't know, when they say they have a lot of strawberries and a lot of bananas, you don't really know what that means until you see the warehouse. So we got 4 vans full, and the last got picked up Friday, we just found out. So that's really cool. So thanks for everybody jumping in really fast. We did a whole load to the Glen Ellen Food Pantry, so it was really good. But so January was really, really busy. I wanted to let you know that we had our repair fair a week ago Saturday. 210 items that we were able to count were repaired, between sharpened scissors and pruning shears and bracelets. It was a madhouse. But it was really, really good. I know Ina came, and it was pretty busy day, but we were thrilled with the turnout, and we'll do it again May 4th. Ina, also, there's a new scrap metal company in Elmhurst named Capital Metals, and they are doing the not steel. They're doing anything, ferrous metals, non-ferrous metals. And so brass and copper and the holiday lights, and already half of my staff has had a tour there. And we want to get the other half to have a tour just to see some of the new technology and stuff. And it's right across from where you get your emissions tested. So it is what, 8 minutes from Scaresbed?
I mean, yeah.
Max. So really great for another field trip location to see new technology to sort the metals. It's really, really cool, especially how they do the holiday lights. They're really interested in helping with that. So we're excited about that. We have this Wednesday, we have a kind of a co-teaching STEM workshop with the ROE for middle school teachers. If you know any middle school teachers, it's this Wednesday. And then we're working on the Institute Day. So we have 2 buses. Every Institute Day, we have 1 bus, and we take teachers around. This year, with the request from teachers, we have 2 buses. So one will be going to the quarry and the DuPage Water Commission. And then the second will be going to the Downers Grove Water Sanitary Treatment Center for water quality, as well as all their energy conservation, because they're off grid 6 or 7 months of the year. Teachers can see that. And then we're going to come here to see all the green initiatives here at the county. So we'll see some good things like that. Will the solar panels be? No, not yet.
Mid-March.
Yeah.
Mid-March. So
They're
not yet.
in place. They're just, we're.
They're
Flip
on.
the switch.
Correct.
Okay.
Was this all for DuPage teachers?
Yes. Yeah, because it's our Institute Day, March 1st. So it's a lot of, some of the school districts won't let the teachers out of their buildings, but some do. So we'll be glad to share those 2 workshops. So it's been a really, really busy January, and we're looking for, we have, I think, 18 recycling extravaganzas scheduled for the spring and early summer already. So it's going to be really busy.
I'd love that field trip to the metal recycling.
Mm-hmm. You'd like to go?
Yeah, yeah, Paula too. Yeah,
I'll go too.
would love to
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Send us, when you've got it,
Yeah.
send a link and we'll make sure we
And
distribute
what's-
it to the committee.
What's really nice is they turn off all the equipment so you can hear them talking. They're not so big. So you can hear what's happening, right, Bev? You can hear what the kind of equipment is and the new technologies for sorting the holiday lights is really pretty amazing. So, yeah. And it's about half hour, 40 minutes.
Okay, only two of us can go.
Oh,
Thank you for
okay.
that.
So then we'll make,
Take
multiple-
a
you know what?
Need
Our-
my emo.
Only half of our
I don't
staff
want you
got
guys to have a
to,
meeting.
No, I know.
only half of our
Maybe
staff.
we can do it in shifts.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
only half of our staff got to go, so we can
Good.
divide it up, see what works for you guys. Only two. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Gabe. Next, I'll ask for an approval of minutes, the 240566 from December 5th. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, for parent committee approval, ENR 1-24, DuPage County Electronic Recycling Program 2025 Notice of Participation.
Second.
All in favor? That motion carries. Next is 24-567, recommendation for the approval of an agreement between the County of DuPage, Illinois, eWorks Electronic Services, Inc., and Reverse Logistics Group Americas, Inc., to provide electronic recycling to residents of DuPage County. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Staff reports, 240568, the 2024 sign recycling event.
Yes, good morning. So we are gearing up. We included the flyer in the packet, so if you could share and share alike, we're hoping to have another successful spring recycling run.
I told Joy that every time we do this, I think that there's gonna be like this much at the bottom of the dumpster, but I'm always pleasantly surprised at what we actually reclaim from that event. So happy to keep sponsoring that. Next, the Avoid the Spark Illinois campaign.
Okay, and I have to apologize. It's going to be renamed, but we hand this off to Austin and he will update you.
Yeah, so this is the campaign is a battery education campaign with some of the surrounding counties, a couple solid waste organizations, and Call to Recycle. Reason why Call to Recycle is involved, kind of the main players in the battery recycling, at least for the rechargeables, you see them in your own depots and whatnot. And that's where the Avoid the Spark initially came from, but they're getting rid of that campaign. So that caused us to kind of, okay, we're just gonna rename it, but it's going to be essentially an education campaign launching around National Battery Day, kind of focused on where the batteries are that you kind of have to recycle. Batteries are everywhere is going to be kind of one of the initial taglines. Talking about how rechargeable and your lithiums, and those are kind of the focus, the ones that are causing a lot of fires and damage and a lot of worry, that they don't belong in the trash and the recycling. How to properly store them so that they don't get damaged, they don't puff, and preventing them from getting into that condition. And then the most important thing is, if they are damaged or if they're fine, where do you take them? This campaign's gonna be focused on kind of the lithium rechargeables primarily because they have outlets, but that's not exclusive. We will kind of touch on outlines and whatnot. The main focus is gonna be rechargeable lithiums. So this is an overall education campaign. There'll be a dedicated social media page on your Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever they call it in a week. So that'd be kind of,
They call it
Yeah.
a dying platform. That's what they call it.
yeah, so not many people are fan, but essentially that's the education campaign is, okay, these are batteries that actually have a place to go. Let's educate residents where they can take them and kind of really push that out because some residents will realize, okay, there is a place for your
There's
lithiums, there is a place for your
definitely
rechargeables,
demand.
and how do you take care of them and how do you prevent them from getting the critical condition where they would be worried, and if they are, what do you do with them? So that's kind of the overall education campaign. Will start February 18th and kind of
That's what it's
continue
looking
on.
for.
Yeah.
And we will be sharing that information on our Cool DuPage platform. So for those of you that follow us, so feel free to share and share alike.
Yeah. The main campaign is just gonna have its own page. So if people want to share from it, that's great. It will have a website, a link to a website. That's gonna be soft launch on the 18th. Just having like okay, when we tell people where to take them, they'll kind of have an FAQ, some information, some educational aspect, and potentially a newsletter. All that it's still being worked out. But yeah, it should be kind of a pretty robust campaign. Yes.
So in my area, we have people coming from different countries and they don't necessarily know what a rechargeable battery is. Not if we're focusing on car batteries, are we focusing on household batteries? So is there a way to kind of give an education on batteries, let's say, while we're doing this so that they actually know what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about kind of the types of batteries. There's gonna be like kind of a fact sheet developed with Call to Recycle, talking about the batteries, but hey, we'll take recommendations. We'll kind of back to it, because we're somewhat developing the social media posts and kind of flyers and graphics. So we'd be happy to kind of talk about types of batteries.
Yeah, and I think the most important that most people talk about are car batteries, so
Yeah, and that's the thing, we can always.
that'll get their attention for sure.
Usually when you buy a new one though, they take the old one on that kind of, I
Yeah,
don't know
and
that
then
that's.
what are they doing with the old one? That's what we need to get to all those people to make sure that's done properly.
Ina,
Yes, thank you. So actually, kind of jumping off of what Member Guston was saying, are any of these flyers or education campaigns going to be in any languages other than English? I mean, in Naperville, Chinese community is quite large.
And I
Spanish
can
would
help
probably
with
be
the
the other one.
Chinese portion.
Yeah, if you have people that can translate it, this is just done on
Yeah.
essentially no money
right?
budget. So if you have, somebody that's willing to translate and we can get that checked off, yeah, it'd be interesting. We're trying to at least get the initial campaign English, and if we have somebody for Spanish and Chinese, that would help get the word out.
Sadia.
Thank you. I might be able to help with that. I chair the Complete Count Committee, counting the hard to count population. So we had 34 members in our committee, and we had people people from organizations that had the ability and the resources for translation. So I'd be happy to work with you guys on that.
If you could give those resources to Joy and Austin.
I will talk to
Together,
Heidi.
that's great. And I hoping that any of us that can provide information, I'm sure it would be welcome to what they're trying to do.
Absolutely.
That no budget part is.
Right.
However we can help that.
We have a lot of knowledge, which is priceless, but, things that cost money. But, yeah, we've got a lot of people creating graphics, so it should be a good campaign to at least get people educated on a lot of things, just getting those batteries that are causing fires, that are damaging out, and actually get them recycled, especially as the DOE, Department of Energy, and a lot of the US EPA, then they're all kind of pushing on, let's get those recycled.
And a little follow-up on that, our fire department in Naperville is always in tune with what's gonna start a fire potentially. So if there's some connect there, let me know, as to what maybe they're seeing or you're seeing with respect to batteries and starting fires. Because if you can get them behind you, that just, the momentum just moves on.
Any other questions? Thanks, everybody, for your assistance with this. Awesome, thank you. Let's see. Next, presentations, the Choose DuPage Program Performance Report. Or Rita, sorry, Ford.
I'll answer to whatever you call. Rita Hockey with Choose DuPage. So you were given this morning the formal report we received from University of Illinois Smart Energy Design Assistance Center, CDAC, that Sustainable DuPage, we were in partnership with them to create the initiative. And the first year ended in November. So I'm just going to summarize what you will see in that report. We want to show you what the investment, what the outcomes were. First thing, and you've heard me speak about this before. So first thing is we did launch on our website, the Green Business Toolkit resources. We have about 38 different resources for businesses to refer to. We did create a green business checklist. It is in the back of the report, but marketing is making it a little bit more friendly on the eyes. And that checklist actually was much bigger than expected. It has 69 measures on it that businesses will be able to go to that as a roadmap. We did the assessments with some businesses this year, but we can't do it with every business. So the intention is the checklist will be a roadmap that will live on. And it is broken up by energy, pollution prevention, solid waste, transportation, water conservation, and then the community at large is what you'll see on that checklist. It's encouraging businesses to make improvements or changes that could be high impact or low cost. So there is something for everybody to move forward into sustainability as a business. The assessments, as I said, we had a pilot target of 10. We did reach our 10 businesses, 11 facilities. One business had 2 locations, so we did both of those. As part of getting the word out, we did partner with Illinois Manufacturing Extension Center, IMAC, and Illinois Manufacturing Association to broaden our network. And so between the partnerships, CDAC included, we estimate we raised awareness to at least 5,000 businesses in the county of the existence of the program. Some things that you will see in the recommendation reports. So those are being released as case studies, but there's a commonality that every business basically was told. Some of those were replace existing LED with LED, programming and installing smart thermostats, better insulation for loading dock bays where those were existing, improving waste diversion efforts, and CDAC or SCARES is referenced in many of the reports. And then my favorite is faucet aerators in the bathrooms. Those were almost every report had that on there. And each recommendation gave the details behind the recommendation, how to move forward, maybe some suggestions, and if there were any incentives that would be available, and then contact information for them to reach out to pursue those incentives. The case studies we will release are going to be blind, meaning we're not referencing company names. Two reasons. One, a lot of internal information on those companies. So we don't want to publicly disseminate their internal information. And then two, this is about being a model for other businesses to align to. So while we had a specific type of restaurant, we don't want people to turn the other way to say my restaurant is different. It's about the model of a restaurant. So when those are released, you will see referencing of manufacturer A or office B. Our largest, as far as savings, is office B. And so the recommendations for office B was install demand control ventilation in their offices and parking garages, which is part of the HVAC system. That's about as far as I can go with that description. Install heat pump water heaters. This building had multiple water heaters for every floor and every little kitchen area. And then install smart power strips under the 1,100 workstations in the building. If all the recommendations are implemented by Office B, the two highest savings will be the electrical or energy side, 738,000 kilowatts will be saved. And then the dollar savings is $103,000 for that one business. You will see there is the overall estimated savings for all businesses that CDAC compiled for us. And so just to give you an idea of, so 11 facilities, electric will be 1,107,000 kilowatts. Natural gas will be 12,200 therms. Water will be 111,000 gallons. CO2 will be 550 metric tons. And then finally, the dollar saved for the businesses will be $168,000. CDAC gave us an analogy, which basically for all the recommendations, all the savings, is the equivalent of 122 gasoline-powered vehicles off the road. So we're very happy with our final year performance measures. Still to come are those case studies. I would expect those will be on our website. They're done. Again, marketing's making them more eye-pleasing. I would expect those, they will be up on our website in 60 days or less. And then the checklist will be posted probably in the next 10 days. Our plans for next year, a little bit minimalized, but we're still going to do some assessments, and we are going to create a sustainability plan template for businesses because their customers are requiring it. So we're trying to give them maybe a workbook, a guidebook, so they can create their own. Yes.
Go ahead, Cindy.
A lot of businesses, if they implement these energy efficient ideas, get tax credits.
Yeah.
So have you made that aware to them that they
Yes.
know that they get these credits?
Yes, that would be part of the incentives that were offered to each business.
They actually get a complete assessment, a handout that they can.
About 35 pages for each business to give the details of every recommendation. And each business minimally had 10 recommendations. There, we had all points of sustainability. One that just started thinking about it, so there was a lot to recommend. And another that was well into it, but we still had at least 10 recommendations for that business.
Awesome.
Yes.
Paula.
Real quick, great information
Yeah,
there,
thank you.
and I haven't had a chance to read this all yet. Is all the information you gave us, especially all the
Yes.
bullet points in here?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm looking to, that's great information to share.
CDEC
So-
did a phenomenal job with the
Okay, I'm
final
just wondering if we
report.
can get those last few things that you just said there, this will save, this will save,
It did not.
it's in here.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And then we created a presentation, but because of timing on the invite, I can send this over.
Oh, perfect, that
Give
would be
some
great.
Summary of it as well.
Perfect,
Yes, we'll
thank you.
send her presentation as well as the reports.
Yeah.
All right, perfect, thank you so
And
much.
then we will share, on social media, your, case studies when you get those
Yes,
uploaded.
yes.
and such.
Oh, and the webinars. We did do 4 webinars as part of the initiative, and we had 177 registrations. And that was really organic marketing to get it started.
Great.
Yes.
Ina.
Chair, will this be an ongoing initiative and will your target numbers change?
So we did get reduced funding this year. So yes, it will be ongoing. We're creating it in a way where it can continue no matter what, but we won't be able to do as many assessments because of the reduced funding. So the on-site, so we're coming up with other plans to be more of template, checklist to help it live on.
Let us know how we can help share that.
Absolutely.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, Rita.
You're welcome.
Rita. All righty, let's see. Does anybody have any old business? Paula.
Real quick, because I gotta go. But holding on to this bag, I know we've had a plastic bag initiative that we've been trying to fight. I went up and visited my daughter and grandkids up in rural Minnesota, and my surprise is I walked into Walgreens and they're giving these out as bags, these reusable, recyclable bags in their
Paper.
Walgreens paper. Why can we not get this in DuPage County? So this is my frustration. So I'm just showing this is being done in other places of the country and rural areas. So I'm really hoping we can really work on that here as a county or as a state. I don't know which way we have to go with this, but just wanted to share this.
Yeah,
with
some of the
you.
municipalities are starting to mandate a 10-cent charge for bags, like in Batavia. I went to
Right.
Menards and they're like, do you want bags? And I'm like, well, yeah. Well, how many do you want? And it took me a minute.
Yeah, that's happening.
But
a
I'd
lot,
love
too.
to see that, but we're not home, so we can't do
Right. So it has to be on the state. So I'm just saying, it's being
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating that's
Oh,
not
I
being done
know.
here.
that and I, like, let's get rid of plastic water bottles, even if we do cartons. We went to
Right.
Europe 2 years ago and you don't get a plastic water bottle there, you get a carton, like a milk carton.
But it's cheaper to get the beer than the water in Europe.
We did that. That was the cheaper part. It's like,
worry.
beer or water? I
Not
don't
to
know.
worry.
Make sure that makes sense.
Thanks for that, Paula. Any new business? Without objection, we're adjourned. Oh, okay.